All right. Hello class. So I'm going to go over the consonants chart, which is here right now, and then I'll go over some vowels in English as well. So the chart I have in front of me now is the full consonants chart, and so it includes all of IPA rather than just the IPA in English. So I will make sure to highlight which is in English and which is the universal. The universal IPA. So starting off, I'll explain how the chart works. So across the, or down the left side of the column is the manner of articulation. So there are plosives, nasals, trills, taps or flaps, fricatives, lateral fricatives, approximant, and lateral approximants. English has plosives, nasals, the fricatives, and approximants, and lateral approximants. Okay. And then across the top row are the placement of articulations. So bilabial, labiodental, dental, alveolar, postoalveolar, retroflex, palatal, velar, uvular, pharyngeal, and glottal. All right, so, and then I'll go over what each manner of articulation means and what each placement of articulation means. So a plosive is where the airflow through the mouth stops completely, even for a short bit. So for example, the P sound, all of the sound that comes out of the mouth from the lungs is completely stops because the lips are placed together. So all of the airflow stops. In a nasal sound, airflow is stopped in the mouth. However, sound and airflow still continues to travel through the nasal passage. So like in M, all of the airflow is stopped traveling through the mouth and it continues to travel through the nose. Therefore, it is called a nasal. A trill is when the articulators are moving very quickly. So the alveolar trill sounds like r or r. So the tongue is moving against the roof of the mouth very, very quickly. But neither or all three of these sounds are in other languages other than English. Tap is when the airflow stops very quickly, but it's not as definite as the plosives. So it's like ra, similar to this R sound. Oh, this R sound is not as moving as the trill R. So this R beneath this R. Fricative is where the articulators are very close to touching and very close to stopping airflow, but air is still able to pass through. So with the F sound, there's still airflow traveling through the mouth. And then I'll skip down to approximant. This is where the articulators are they're close to touching, but they don't touch. So the palatal fricative, the palatal approximant with the J symbol here, the tongue is very close to touching the roof of the mouth, but it never does. So this represents the Y sound. So ya, the tongue never touches the roof of the mouth, and therefore it is approximating close to the mouth. Lateral approximant is where the tongue is kind of spread and it's still close to touching but doesn't necessarily touch. So this is where the L sound comes from. And that is the only lateral approximant in English. And then I'll go over the placement of articulations. So bilabial is the two lips. They are used in the sounds. So the bilabials in English would be the three top. So P, P, B, B, and M are the three bilabial consonants. The labial dental consonants in English would be F and V. So F and V. I also am going to tell you that the voicing status, so whether the consonant is voiced or voiceless, depends on its position within its box. So the voiced labial dental fricative F is on the left-hand side of the box because it is devoiced or voiceless. The voiced labial dental fricative V is on the right side because it is voiced. So voice, the vocal box is moving. Dental is with the tip of the tongue is in between the teeth. So this would be the symbol called theta. It is from the Greek alphabet. It is the devoiced dental fricative. It's in sound. It's in words like think. So that beginning consonant, think. Yeah, and then theta, its name itself has the sound. And its voiced counterpart is called ed. This symbol here. So it is in words like this, that. So it's that voiced counterpart with the tip of the tongue in between the teeth. Next would be the alveolar. Yeah, so the alveolar is the roof of the mouth, so right behind the teeth. So English has a couple of these in the language, and
you sign out from there.
Okay, so the alveolar plosive, so the alveolar consonants in English would be T, D, N. We're gonna come back. Oh, sorry. Yeah, S, Z, and this R right here. So yeah, so T and D are where the airflow stops completely and the tongue is placed right behind the teeth. So T and D. So voiced, devoiced, and voiced counterparts. Next would be N. So this is a nasal where all of the airflow has stopped in the mouth, but it continues to travel through the nasal passage. So N. Then we skip these two are looking letters, and then we have S. So the tip of the tongue is contacting with the roof of the mouth, and airflow still travels through, so it's slightly touching it, but not completely. So S, and its voice counterpart Z, Z. And then here is the R sound. So this is the R approximate, which is where the tongue kind of curves upward on both sides and makes the sound. And then the lateral approximate L is where the tip of the tongue L kind of stays on the roof of the mouth, and then the sides curve upward. Next would be postal alveolar. So as we go along the chart, the articulators move farther and farther back into the mouth. So the postal alveolar position is right behind the mouth, or right behind the teeth, the ridge of the teeth. So this symbol is the sh sound. So once again, the tongue is moving farther back into the mouth, and airflow is still able to pass through because it is a fricative. So sh, and this is the voice counterpart, which would be zh, like in the word measure. Zh. And then retroflex, there aren't any retroflexes in English. So I'll just continue. And then palatal, as I mentioned earlier, the only palatal is the J symbol, which is the Y sound. So yeah. So since this is an approximate, the articulators are very close to touching, but they're not completely they don't completely have contact, or no contact at all. Next would be velar, which is the very back of the roof of the mouth. So this produces the sounds K, G, and the egma in the nasal. So K, and its voice counterpart G, and then this nasal where the airflow stops in the mouth and continues into the nose. And then there aren't any uvular sounds in English, and no pharyngeal sounds either. There are glottal sounds, which is the glottal stop here. So this is in the sound, or this is the stop of the airflow in language, and it's in between the words like uh-oh. So that little space where the voice stops producing sound, uh-oh, is called a glottal stop. And then the H sound, huh. So it's hard to explain, but the glottis is slightly vibrating and it's producing the huh sound. All right, that was all of the consonants. A couple of students jumped in before or after I had started. And I recorded the beginning of the lecture, so this will be posted on YouTube. But do you have any questions for what you've already seen?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm sorry I joined the class late because of network issues.
Okay, no worries.
So I don't know if I'll be given the opportunity so that you can go back a bit with the lectures.
Yeah, I recorded the beginning of this lecture, so it'll be posted on YouTube, and I'll send the link out.
Okay, okay. It's okay then.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, I am going to just list a couple of words for each consonant in the starting position of the word, the middle of the word, and the ending position of a word. Okay, so for the P sound, the word pan is the beginning. Happy would be in the middle position, and nap would be in the ending position of the word. Moving on to B would be bud, rubber, and rub. T, the word tea, heater, and seat. Next, moving on to D, dip, middle, and hide. K, cat, marking, and pack. G would be get, target, and rag. Next for F, fork, suffer, and cough. Van, or V, has van, river, and live. Theta has thin, anthem, and both. Ed has this, father, and breathe. S has sip, racing, and pace. Z has zip, razor, has, ship, or S, or esh has ship, lashes, and fish. The Z sound has genre, vision, and garage. H only has the ability to be in the starting position of the word or in the middle of the word. So it only has two examples, hat and behave. L would be lock, follow, and sell. R has rag, borrow, and bar. W has wind and rewind. This also only has the ability to be in the starting position and the middle position of the word. The J symbol, which represents the Y sound, has yes, mayor, and this also only has the starting position and the in position. Starting and middle. So yes and mayor. M has man, remain, and him. N has net, runner, and rain. And then the ng sound, this nasal here, cannot be in the starting position of the word in English. So it has song and singer. Okay, and then we can move on to vowels. So this is the vowel chart in IPA. I highlighted the English vowels here on the side. So not all of these vowels that are in the chart, like the consonants, are in English, but we'll only be focusing on the English vowels in this class. Okay, so the vowel chart has, once again, three qualifiers to describe the vowels. So one is the tongue height, so whether it is lifting in the mouth or whether it is flat on the base of the mouth. Mouth openness, so whether or not the opening of the mouth is wide or not, and mouth roundness. So determine the height. It's pretty intuitive. Tongue height is in the back, central, or front. And then mouth openness is close, close mid, and open, open. And then roundness is, once again, if it's on the left side of the dots, it is unrounded, and if it is on the right side, it is rounded. Okay, so in English, most of the vowels are rounded when they are in the back position, and most of the English vowels are unrounded if they're in the front position. Okay, so I'm going through the list of vowels here, and then I'm going to produce them. So the I symbol produces the sound E. This symbol produces the sound A. This sound produces A. Excuse me. Yeah. So E, A, and then A, And then this one is close to the back, so ah, and then ah is here. Eh is this symbol. This is an unstressed vowel, so it's harder to pronounce by itself, but it's basically a. And this is when it's that same sound, but in the stressed syllable of a sentence or of a word. So again, but it's stressed. This would be oo. This would be o. This would be and this is I. And then there are a couple of words or a couple of vowels that are unlisted right now. They're called diphthongs, and this is where two vowels are put together, and I will go over those in a different lecture. Yep. So with the I symbol, a couple of words with that sound would be deep and heat. And then the sound would be the sound in leg and 10. I'm skipping over to this backwards C symbol. So this would be the sound in saw and dog. And then this would be the song or the sound in feather or get. This schwa, this upside down E is called the schwa. So that would be in a word called, or like again. So that first syllable, again, is the unstressed syllable of the word, and it's just the sound. So it is represented by the schwa. So again. And then this upside down V is the stressed. So cut, gun, those would be that stressed syllable, but it's still the same sound. Next is the U. So it's in sounds like, or in words like food or soup. And then O is in words like coat. This horseshoe shape is in words like look or book. And then is in words like bit or fit or dig. So these are harder to produce as a second language learner than consonants can be. So there are often different realizations when it comes to learning English. So we'll go over about 3 or 4 of the vowels that are commonly misproduced. So we'll first go over this symbol here, I sound. So in words like fit or bit. So this is often realized as the E sound. So rather than saying get, I need to get carrots from the market. It would take the E sound. So I need to get carrots from the market. So that is one example of a misrealized vowel for Nigerian speakers of English. Yeah, and so the best way to overcome this mispronunciation is basically just practice. So recording yourself, listening back, and hearing it, and then trying to mimic the sound from another speaker. Okay, so the next vowel that is misrealized would be this e sound or a sound. So it is halfway between the a and the e sound. So the word like cake, rather than saying cake, a speaker would probably say kek or cake, which is similar to the desired sound, but not quite there. So we ate cake, or we ate cake, rather than we ate cake. The next is the schwa, which is not in any native tongues, and so it is often overstressed rather than unstressed as it should be. So rather than, so taking the example sound from before, it would probably sound like again or again or again rather than again. So that one's a little harder to hear in my opinion. So I'll repeat it again. So again is how it should be pronounced. Again. And then sometimes it can be produced as again or again. And then we'll do a couple of more. And then I only have about 10 minutes left of the meeting, if that's all right. And then, yeah, and then we'll discuss when we'll meet next week. Okay. So the next vowel that I'll describe is the ah sound. So this backwards C. So this is not in any native tongues. It is often added, when it's pronounced, it's often realized as the sound. Or an R is added in between or along with the vowel. So rather than producing a word like caught, like I caught him in a game tag, it would sound like I caught him in a game of tag. I cut, and rather than I caught. So that distinction rather than the I caught him rather than I caught him. Another example when the R is added is in a word like pot. And then it would be realized as port rather than pot. Port, yeah, port rather than pot. So that pot is not like distinguished, or it's distinguished from the R sound. And then I'll do one more. So this ah sound written here, it's not listed here, but it's in English as well. It's in words like cat. So some languages don't have this sound. So it is often realized with adding a R as well, or more sounding like ah rather than ah. So in the word match, like the football match, it would probably sound like march, the football march. or a word like pack, like packing lunch, it would sound like parking lunch. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. We have about 5 minutes left to discuss when we're meeting next week and questions. Any questions?
Hello.
Hello.
The class is very interesting, but with some of us that are BBC, we are finding it very challenging because
Okay.
at times the arrows, your whether your cursor is not really placing on the particular distance. At times it is like I'm even looking with my 4 eyes and not even seeing the arrow. But since it is recorded, maybe I will have to go over it time and again to see how I can acquaint myself with the different vowels and what you place on it.
Okay. Yes, so I did record it, so it'll be on YouTube by tomorrow or either today or tomorrow. So you'll be
Okay.
able to watch it over again.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
then
so
I'll
much.
have more examples um to share with you next week. And I'll have them written out if that'll help as well.
Okay, thank you. I will be grateful because some of us were born before BBC, so we don't really follow some of those.
Yeah.
And we learn English. We learn English in a distorted manner, such a
Yes,
way
and
that
that's
we
all
just
right.
manage.
That's all right.
We are just managing to communicate. Not like we can say that we are very linguistic,
Yes.
as our teacher is.
Yes, this will be very much more technical, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Grateful.
Thank
Grateful.
you. Okay, any more questions?
Um, just like my brother has rightly said, the class is really interesting.
Thank you.
Just that I wish that we will take this maybe physical when we resume because
Yeah,
some of us, honestly, these things are very new to us. They are new and we have to be followed gradually, I mean, slowly, so that we can understand it better.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it is very
Hopefully,
interesting.
hopefully watching it over again will help. And it'll probably be helpful to be in person and asking questions again like that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So we can meet again. The break was extended, to my understanding, for the elections. So we'll be able to meet again on Wednesday. I am okay with meeting at 3 if that is better for the class. You guys, just let me know.
I think 3 o'clock is okay
Okay,
by me. Yeah.
perfect. Then we'll meet at 3 on next Wednesday.
Yeah. I think 3 or 3:30, that will be good. Just see
3 or
how you can
3:30.
situate and then
Okay,
we try to through our WhatsApp group to encourage other people to be part of it because many have not even seen some of these. They are like Chinese, whether they are American or they are Hebrew or they are Greek. Some of them have not seen it.
okay,
So I will be happy that all of us should see so that we can see how we can flow together.
okay, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you all for joining and listening in. I hope you
God
guys
bless.
have a great afternoon.
Yeah, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Oh,
You know that you are
it's my
you know
pleasure.
that you are teaching you know that you are teaching by adult school, so you should know how you handle it.
It's my pleasure.
All right,
Okay,
bye bye.
bye.
Bye.